Moshe is a dear friend to everybody. But as a Talmud who learned that the Rebbe is going back, Toshin Lamed Yivov, Lamed Zayin, Lamed Ches, Lamed Tes, I had the opportunity to learn with Moshe. He may be known over here as a worker and a litator, but to me he's just a dear friend. And I'm trying to think of something specific and something special about the Moshe that wasn't told yet. Everybody knows the Moshe was a kind man, smiling man to adults and children. So this is not a chiddush. And I'm trying to think, I'm going to get back to that, not to know. What does Moshe mean to a friend from years gone by? And I came up with something. The Rebbe has demanded of us something very interesting. We know that the Rebbe evolutionizing Yiddishkeit to take something that may seem developed as not necessarily a positive thing and turn it over completely. Chassidim, the Rebbe has demanded that the Rebbe wants action. We know that action is something in Sifrei Musa and in Sifrei Chassidus is brought down. We're trying to find different ways how to overcome akshanis. My father Zazakis always quotes what we say in Shiny Rabbah, play on words. It says, Koil mevater, oime medaf, alma mevater zayin. Never be an action on your ways and your way of thinking. Yet the Rebbe comes around and says, no, the only way to bring Mashiach is through actions. And I'm thinking about it today, if I bring this on 70, and if I bring it with that the whole idea of Tes and Yud Kislev, Yud Tes and Chav Kislev, was not a compromise, it was akshanis. Chassidus Chabad is durchgeführt, the Alter Rebbe durchgeführt, alles was man darf, and over then, it has to be in such a way that it should be in a smiling way. When I think of the Moshe, I think of Taki, the specific actions that the Rebbe is demanding of us. To be an action and to actually persevere with something that I believe in, it's no big deal. But to sit against somebody who thinks differently than me and actually insist to love him regardless, this is Moshe. Smiling is not just something that you do in a Sofek Melachutz. He actually loved every single person, and he showed it. You know, I remember in Yeshiva, we were kids, we were 12, 13, 14-year-olds. Naturally, we have disagreements, we have fights. This one doesn't agree with this one, and we have groups. This group is against this group and that group. And then comes Moshe with a smile, and he gives that wink and that like dismissive attitude of, come on, that's a king Narish. And that is the action I believe insists on. There's an action to love each other, even if we sit across somebody who thinks exactly opposite of us. The actions that we get, it doesn't come naturally. Sometimes it's very hard. We sit across it, makes us very nervous. Nevertheless, we find a way to agree with him regardless. Sitting over here by Fabregan, and I wanted to repeat it. How you find that when you insist on the Rebbe's words, you find that it works out by the end in the right way. And this woman, but unfortunately, she had a very hard life with the two children. And and she has her two little girls, this kind run to Yiddishkeit, and she came to Hasidic atmosphere, Hasidic community in Eretz Yisrael, and she raised her children over there. Her children grew in a regular Mesirik atmosphere, and they knew themselves as just regular girls. They weren't aware that they may run into a problem until it came to Shidduchim time. And then people looked at them a little different. There's the Tate from Amishtamtir. Yeah, we were friends, we were just like anybody else. Yet, the Shidduchim came to be a situation. At some point, they weren't sure exactly what to do, and there was nothing happening as far as the Shidduchim are concerned. They went to the Mashpia said, look, we have a way of communicating with our Rebbe. Right into the Igris. No. They wrote into the Igris, and a letter amazingly came out, a bracha, for Shidduchim, so Zayin Sifukim Agunim, Bekarev, etc., full with brachas in the letter. And they show it to the mother is very excited. Kleinigkeit, wir haben was da, a bracha for Rebbe of Sifukim. And the girls say, no, there's something over here, a specific detail in the letter that we believe that we have to do something about it. Sie steht da, als beschus dem, was mit Mekarev seinem Bruder, you'll Mekarev your brother into Yiddishkeit, beschus dem, you'll have a good zibur, a good shidduch. And they turn to the mother and they say, no, where is our brother that we should be Mekarev? And the mother starts laughing and says, come on, a letter from the Rebbe, everything doesn't need to match exactly. Yeah, the bracha v'ashidach, but the bracha v'ashidach, be happy as it is, I think again. They say, Mama, the Rebbe said, I'm the kind of a brother, we got to do something about it. Our shidduchim are abhängig in der Minyan. When I say, geht das hin und zurück, and finally she tells him, look, what should I tell you? I mean, I had only 2 girls. You don't have a brother. I wish you had a brother that you could be Mekarev. And they say, well, what about our father? She says, look, he's not part of your life. I never spoke to you about him. He's a bum I left already 20 years ago. You want? Here's his name. He lives somewhere in Tel Aviv. Go look him up and ask him. But as far as I'm concerned, you're wasting your time. Sure enough, they go to Tel Aviv to look him up. They knock on the door. And he says, who is there? He says, this are your daughters. He says, go away, I have no daughters. And they didn't leave, obviously. They clapped and didn't let go. He opened the door, and they sat down and they talked. And one daughter just couldn't hack it. Says, I'm nifrid. Doesn't let him in Bechlam. Go away, I'm not interested in you, I'm not interested in your mother, I'm not interested in anything you have to represent, I'm not interested in Yiddishkeit. You guys are whacked, you're crazy. Get out of my life. I don't want to have nothing to do with you or your mother. Go away. And one daughter Tanya left. The other insisted. She stayed over there. She talked to him till 1 o'clock in the morning. Finally, he broke down and he says, yes, before I met your mother, I had another situation over here, and yes, there was a boy born out of that situation, and he is your brother technically. He lives in Kiryat Shmona. Here's his name. And I'm not really sure of his address. Go look him up if you're interested. Sure enough, they go to Kiryat Shmona, they go to the Shliach, and they say, you got to be Mekarev this guy. I said, what are you talking about? I have over here tens of thousands of people working very hard. Why should I pay attention? And they show him, look, our shidduchim is abhängig in this. And he looks at them a little weird, you guys are very naive, but I'll try my best. Rebbe, letter, doesn't mean everything has to match exactly, but no, soll schon sein. And there he goes, and he makes contact with him. Needless to say, the end of the story we know already. He was niskarev, the girls got the shidduch, the father was niskarev, the ganze mishpacha became totally transformed because of their insistence, because of their commitment. When the Rebbe is asking us of akshonis, I'm thinking of Reb Moshe's akshonis. Yes. To sich einaktionen, to take the impossible and do it. We sit in certain situations, as I mentioned before, and sometimes we say, no, it's absolutely impossible that I think one way, another person thinks exactly the opposite, und wir sollen noch Hals können sitzen zusammen bei Avavach und Reis. This is what I remember for the Moshe in Yeshiva and on all these years. To take this action is the next step, and to look for ways and finding ways. And the best trick that the Moshe had up his sleeve was a smile. To constantly, whenever you get into a conflict, don't get into arguments. Don't try to convince the other person. Just in a nice smile, say, we're brothers, here we are, let's sit together, never mind the differences. When the Rebbe is demanding of us akshonis, this is the akshonis that he demands. He soll sich einaktionen to love each other no matter what, and despite everything else. This is what I remember of Moshe. Think of Moshe now, I'm thinking to myself, that Lamaila, he's doing everything he can in his own way, taka with a smile, begging and pleading, and sich einaktionen at the Rebbeinu Shalom. Taka, the Rebbeinu Shalom should send us these galus of the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach, take it from Yad Mamash, and then naturally we'll all smilingly decree the Achrazas HaKedesh of L'chia, L'neinu, Mereinu, V'Rabbeinu, Melech HaMashiach, L'Elam Voed, O Kitzu, V'Ran Mashiach Teofar, U'Meisha V'Shtetzach, V'Seicha, V'Nafilu B'Reishon, take it from Yad Mamash, HaButavach.
A größten Jahr Shekoyach Rabbi Greenberg,